The Mountain West sends 4 teams to the dance. March Madness is here, and we're back on the Big Mountain to keep you updated. Hey, it's JY back with the Big Mountain. We have to do an update for our mountain dwellers regarding Mountain West basketball. After sending an historic 6 teams to the NCAA Tournament last year, the Mountain West follows it up this year, sending 4 teams in 2025. I'm sure Boise State fans think that number should be 5. I kind of always figured 5 would be a long shot, especially when we had both Colorado State and Boise State in the final. Was a little concerned that only one of those teams, 2 teams, would get in. Of course, being the champion of the conference of the tournament gets you into the conference. So unfortunately, Boise does not make it. But let's start here with the dreaded first 4 game. This is on Tuesday at 9 p.m. We have UNC versus San Diego State, this being in the South region. This is an 11 versus an 11 matchup. 2 teams that some people could argue should not be in the tournament. UNC getting a lot of hate, saying they really shouldn't be in the tournament, but they are. So we're going to talk about this game. UNC comes in 22-13 on the season. The Aztecs come in 21-9 on the season. Of course, the Aztecs had several really big out-of-conference wins. One, an OT game against Houston in which they won, another one over Creighton, and they finished 14-6 in the Mountain West. UNC here went 1 of 12 in Q1 games, but they went 21-1 in Q2 through 4 games. So while they struggled against the higher ranked opponents, they did very well in those quads 2, 3, and 4. San Diego State, on the other hand, went 3-6 in quad 1, went 17-3 in quads 2, 3, and 4. UNC is the 32nd ranked team in the nation for points per game. San Diego State, one of the best teams on defense, really in all aspects of the game. Field goal percentage, blocks, 3-point percentage, really, really strong. Aztec defense that the Aztec fans have come to know with this team over the last many years. And, you know, I'm going to say defense holds here in this game. I think they keep it close. I'm going to take the points here with San Diego State in this game, and that is my pick, taking the points with the Aztecs. Let's stay in the South here, talk about another game, New Mexico versus Marquette. This is a 7 versus 10, 2 7 versus 10s that I'll be talking about. This is the first one, of course. The game here is in Cleveland, Ohio. Will take place at 7:30 p.m. The Lobos are really the better team in almost every stat category on paper here. Not by a lot, but slightly better in the stats. The Mountain West, of course, regular season champions here, went 3-4 in quad 1 games, but they did have 2 losses in quad 3, and they finished the season 25-7. The Lobos had a very strong season with a few hiccups, but they've got some great players down there in New Mexico. They had wins versus VCU, UCLA, and USC. So very nice couple wins there out of conference for the Lobos. Marquette here finished 23-10. Of course, they're coming from the Big East. They went 6-8 in quad 1 and no losses in quads 3 or 4. So a very solid team. I think Marquette likely will win this game closely, but we all know what happens in those 7-10 matchups. And because of that, I don't think Marquette will cover. And I like the chance for an upset here. You know, the 7-10 upset. But I'm going to take the Lobos getting 3.5 points, mainly because of the defense that they have. Let's go to the West region. We have number 5 Memphis versus the Mountain West Tournament champions, the number 12 Colorado State Rams. I hate this seeding for one of the hottest teams in the nation right now, the Mountain West Tournament champion, as I said. Memphis, however, may be without their guard Hunter. And that's why right now Vegas has the Rams as the 2.5-point favorite in this game. The 12 is the favorite in this game. It is a 2 o'clock game on Friday in Seattle, Washington. On paper here, with a healthy team, Memphis looks to be the pretty clear favorite, again on paper. But these two teams do have almost identical net rankings. The Tigers here, 29-5 with a phenomenal quad 1 record of 6-1, but they do have 2 quad 3 losses. The Rams starting the season 5-5, but my goodness, they have been on an absolute tear, an absolute heater here over the past month and a half, dominating Boise State in that Mountain West Tournament championship game. And I'll be honest, they have Nick Clifford, just one of the best players in the nation right now. If you watch that tournament championship game, after a slow start, I don't think the Rams scored in the first 4.5, 5 minutes of that game. Once they called the timeout, reset, it was nothing but Rams after that, and Nick Clifford is amazing. Very, very good basketball player. And of course, I'm going to be taking the Rams as the favorite. Minus 2.5. Who would have thunk we'd be taking a number 12 as a favorite, minus 2.5. Of course, Hunter, nobody really knows yet exactly what's happening. He did not play in that AAC championship game, was in a boot. I think it's highly likely that he's not going to play here. And Memphis is running into a buzzsaw in Colorado State. They have their game put together. I'm anxious to watch this game. The last one we're going to talk about here in the West region, you have the number 7 UCLA Bruins versus the number 10 Utah State Aggies. Again, I said we'd get to another 7-10. Here it is. This game is on Thursday at 9:30 in the evening. Of course, these are Eastern times that I'm giving you. I apologize for all the Pacific and Mountain Time people, but I'm in the East, and that's what I get on my computer. So 9:30 in the East. This game being in Lexington, Kentucky. UCLA went 15-10 in quad 1, 2, and 3 games this year. And Utah State 15-7 in quad 1, 2, and 3 games. But UCLA playing many more quad 1 games over the course of their season, being in the Big Ten, than what the Aggies did here. USU was happy with the 10 seed, and I would be as well. I kind of wasn't so happy about the Colorado State ranking or the seeding. I'm not happy about UNM's ranking, but I do think Utah State here getting a 10 seed is a good spot for them. I think they have a decent matchup here against UCLA. Could definitely cause some trouble. Spread here, 5.5. And yet again, I'm making it 4 for 4. I'm taking the Mountain West teams with the spread picks, not necessarily the money line to win the game, but I will take the 5.5 points with the Aggies. That's a lot of points here in a 7-10 matchup. I like taking those points, and I even like the chance that Utah State has here in this game. I put out a poll yesterday on X. How many first round wins will the Mountain West had? And I was given a response of 2 by our dwellers that follow me on X. They got it right when they said 4 was going to be the number of teams that we get. So we'll see if they're also right, and we get 2 of these 4 to advance into the second round. Of course, that San Diego State game is that play-in game, if you want to call it, the first 4, which I absolutely can't stand. I talked about that last year. Still hate it. But hey, the Aztecs get to play ball in the big dance, so I'm happy for them. Happy we get the 4. Let's do some damage, Mountain West. I'm ready to get some teams into the second round, maybe into the second weekend. Really excited for this. I think we have some really strong teams here in the tournament. So with that, hey, make sure you give this one a like and subscribe if you like our content. We'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.